Hello, my friends. Welcome back to My Country is Alberta. This is about Alberta being its own country, standing on its own. Don't forget to share and like and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Today I'm going to talk about the dirty truth about immigration. We're tearing apart the lies from the elite pandering point system to the deportation sham that is selling out our nation. We'll reveal how politicians have flooded us with unvetted masses, the catastrophic fallout, and why even the toughest deportations are a pathetic joke that will take forever to fix this invasion. Hopefully this episode will piss you off, and it'll piss off the elites. Good. Let's ignite that firestorm and forget the fairy tales. By the way, Canada's immigration system, it was hijacked a long time ago, turning merit into mockery. Let's do a bit of history. During Stephen Harper's era, Jason Kenney was the Minister of Immigration and established a comprehensive ranking system, the CRS scores. It was a point system. Out of 1,200 was the perfect score. The higher the score, the more likelihood of you being allowed into the country. It was supposed to be snagging up the best of the best, but it was a facade. It ignored the cultural fits and letting in economic drains under the guise of human capital. Critics called it the selective theater, propping up big business with cheap imports. Then, of course, Trudeau's betrayal. From 2015 to 2025. If you can believe it, under his reign, the comprehensive ranking scores dropped to as low as 75. 75 out of a perfect score of 1,200. What a joke. They basically handed out residency like candy to low-skilled hordes. Jason Kenney wasn't happy, calling it a catastrophic sellout, and he was right. This wasn't inclusion. It was sabotage, prioritizing globalist agendas over Canadians. Deportations? Well, even though Harper's was the most we had at 19,000, it was still laughable toughness at the best, barely scratching the surface, but it was better than Trudeau. Trudeau started at deporting only 8,000 people a year. It eventually came up to 19,000, but that was in the last couple years of office. By then, the damage was done. The undocumented plague of over 600,000 people right now, and it's going to surge to 2 million people as the bogus visas lapse. That's no accident. That's engineered overload. A stealth replacement that's eroding our identity and our sovereignty. Now, Carney, in 2026, is pretending to mop up Trudeau's mess with the 2026-2028 plan, capping permanence at 380,000 people, down from the 483. But they're still importing massive amounts of people, while real Canadians suffer. They're also cutting back on the temporary visas, the refugees, but it's really a cover-up to the elite's profit machine. So let's look at this. What's the real fallout for Canadians? Let's look at housing. It's downright robbery. Skyrocketing 20-30% year over year in Toronto and Vancouver, and that's just since 2022. Look at the rents, again, increasing year over year, 15, 20, 25%, where the invaders are actually sucking up 50 to 70% of the available inventory. It's such bullshit. It just makes my blood boil. Now let's talk about Roxham Road. Remember Roxham Road, where all these people were coming in from the U.S.? It was a gateway for many people. 100,000 so-called refugees came into Canada. Whatever happened to them? Well, they were put up in hotels, in shelters, in army bases, even in Montreal's Olympic Stadium. They also received food allowances, health care, while they waited for their claims to be settled, which on average takes 23 months. And that's if they don't appeal. If they appeal, it could take years more. According to the Canadian government website, these costs are hundreds and hundreds of $millions a year. And the cumulative cost since 2017 is now approaching over $6 billion. And these people haven't paid a nickel in taxes. You know who has? You. You and our young people. I feel bad for our young people that are entering the workforce. I can understand why they're upset. They can't get ahead because they look at their wages and it's totally getting chewed up by taxes, by freeloaders, while their parents and grandparents have to rely on CPP. By the way, do you know what the maximum payout of CPP is if you start at age 65? $1,507.65 a month. And that's the maximum you can get once you turn 65. These people who built this country, who worked 40, 50 years paying taxes all along. But the average payout is even lower. The average payout is $803.76. What a joke. And what happened? Healthcare waits 20, 30% higher than they were even a couple of years ago. Schools are jammed with 10, 15, 20% more kids from who knows where. Society? Crime is totally out of control. It's up 20, 30, 40, 50% in many places. The mayor of Surrey, BC just asked for federal help because they're being overrun by foreign gangs imported from hellhole countries. And it's not just the gangs that are causing issues. It's these new Canadians that are practicing barbaric rituals like honor killings. From there's the rapes, the assaults, the murders that clash with our civilized liberties. Look at what's happening across Europe with their open borders. Sweden and UK have two of the highest rapes per capita in all of Europe. That's horrifying. In the meanwhile, we're screaming, enough, while the police are having to deal with no-go zones in our own country. No-go zones in our country. What the hell is going on? There's no trust thanks to policies that favor foreigners over the founders of this country. Now let's keep going. What about the deportations I mentioned? That's the ultimate scam. Even Harper's 19,000 people per year peak would still take about 50 to 60 years to purge today's 1 million plus illegals, let alone the 2 million that are looming. Unfortunately, my friends, at this pace, it'll be surrender. This is a deliberate ploy to lock in demographic shifts. This isn't incompetence. It's conquest by stealth. So who benefits from these high immigration treasonous acts? The elites, the big bosses looking for cheap labor, universities, which to me are just visa mills hooked on foreign tuition cash, and don't forget the landlords who rent to those students. Then there's the politicians, buying votes from these new blocks of newcomers, padding GDP stats just in time for re-election, even though real per capita wealth goes down. Now, is there a solution? I have one. Burn it down. Burn it down and start over. Halt intake until control is regained. Call it zero tolerance on housing, jobs, culture. Import only proven elites. Let's say yes to the people that actually score 1,000 out of a possible 1,200 instead of the 75-point system that worked under the Liberals, basically inviting anybody in. invite trades, invite medics, and so on, who either assimilate or get out. Shred the credential scams. Mandate full integration or ship them back and start deporting like hell. Multiply today's rates of deportation by 10 and secure the borders. Is there a tomorrow? Yeah. But I think the sooner we act on this, the better. Because without real action on this betrayal, Canada's gone. It will be replaced by a fractured third world outpost. We have to do something, or you can kiss your heritage goodbye. That's it for this week, everyone. Thank you again for joining us. And remember, Albertans don't kneel.